Well, I guess now is as good a time as ever. Get this thing rolling here this morning. And I guess, like I said before, you got to know, where you're going in order for people to be behind you. And I'm not sure how many people I need behind me, right? I have no idea. But anyhow, uh, uh, just for the record here, uh, I guess you got to understand the criminal world a little bit, before you're going to make assumptions. And I mean, in the criminal world, I'm reading this off my laptop. Um, we can't make promises, you know, and I think some people are beginning to see that now. So anyway, no matter how much that guy does, most of the time kind of uh, in that kind of business, you don't get to see who does what for who, and people that does things for you. Of course, you're not ever going to know. Somebody's probably going to know the guy who did it, but if he was smart enough, he would never say anything about it, right? So, uh, yeah. So it's that's what it's about. Is how much a guy does for one another, and sometimes, and some people down the road they get think so much that they begin to think that they're owed for for what they've done. And it depends on how if he's done it out of good faith or whether it's just a good deed. Being a good Samaritan. I don't know. That's kind of the way they show their appreciations and looking out for one another, right? That's what you do. Yeah. So that would uh, include but not limited to factions or a faction or a particular faction, and why they become one at the end of the day. So I think maybe that might be going that way. It could be. It's not that it might not be, or it isn't. You know, and and um, those kind of businesses are organizations and their families. You want to bet. And that organization or family don't do all things on the same level or code or rules. So that's where not every one of them. I mean, people get to people, right? And but the way people should get to people is to get to them. You know, to get to them. I guess here. Uh, so meaning coming from that, I got wrote down here. Meaning when you're part of more than one is welcome. So I think somebody may be wrong on that, but you might want to double check. Um, and they believe it's acceptable. So maybe it is now. I don't know. Maybe it ain't. And another because it's all the same business concept. So I think that's where they're going off. It might be similar to fashion and business style in their work. Uh, like I got wrote down here, baseball is played with a bat and a ball, and hockey's played with a stick and a puck. It's a sport. You play them, but at the end of the day, they're not the same. Right? They are, but I guess they're all under one rule. But both games, yeah, I guess I got wrote down here. I don't know what the hell else about. Who knew families and organizations don't fight anymore? Uh, I don't know if it's a religious fucking movement. But, since when? I mean, come on, get real. And because you can't bother somebody of another possible member of a family because he's caught up on dues. Now, I don't know what the fuck that has to do with me, but I have that wrote down here because I understand. And I think that's another thing that they might be looking at and hoping, keeping their fingers crossed. The people that was in that car business is at the end of the day, I'm starting to shed some light on what I know here. This has been, like I said, this has been gathered for 15 fucking years. I'm getting back to where I was. I feel like I'm fucking 17 again, 16. So it's all common sense, but the more you know about something, the more that makes you. It's not that I want to be, because a figure or a public or in a family or an organization, so to speak. That kind of stuff just comes natural. Whatever it does, it does. I guess if I'm into that position where it has to be, it has to be. But I'm like anybody else. But I think that they're hoping that people sees this. Well, then he has the IQ and he had the gift to actually do this. So, but I'm hoping the people don't. So anyway, you try telling that around and see who believes you. That'd be the next thing they're probably going. But that's where the other side is headed. So, you asked yourself, right? Because someone in the past or an organized crime, possible. This is all possible fucking scenarios. Most. So it could possibly be about who has a boss and who don't, and who don't really give a fuck anymore, right? Anyway, do you think conduct from years ago is the problem here? That could be an issue. Race or religion, or because we as a family here in Zeeland, New Brunswick, little fucking Zeeland, New Brunswick, we're born speaking English. Somehow we're English still today. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure. Last time I checked, I'm a Canadian, but I'm not a liquor bottle. Anyhow, so hence the word Canada, right? That's who we are as people. It's the nation we was brought up in, and glad to see those people out there, those Canadian truckers, keeping it real. They must feel more alive than they ever did. I think their freedom, it's not something they lost. I think their freedom was just hidden, and I really don't believe that the Canadian government had anything to do with that. They probably had a door open somewhere where possibly it might have happened, but you'll never come right out and say it. People like that, they don't need, like Justin Trudeau, they don't need that kind of credit, or he's being a little biased maybe. But I'm not sure what you call it that. Anyway, it's an ugly fucking mess, So, um, some extra things that we have here. We don't think that speaking French, because we don't speak French, that we were not taught or didn't have a fucking choice to be. I'm not sure which era you grew up in, but I'm 41. Some people may beg to differ, but most of the time I feel like a big kid. I just like to play all day. anyhow, uh, uh, yeah. So that was the only option we had to, was just a normal class. Sorry for not speaking French. Uh, education wise and money wise, it didn't make sense to practical to where I was going as a kid. And so I'm not a French speaking person. Uh, anyhow, you got to expect to see some of this stuff. And it's not a big wow, a big shocker, but or it shouldn't come as one anyway. But who knows, right? When they go on about why I'm not French, well, why can't I speak fucking why we're not Japanese or Chinese? I don't know. You know, I think it's just a big highlight of the day where they find a fucking word like word bird there, Fred Penner, and just they dwell on that fucking stuff, right? So anyway, uh, yeah. So I think that should be an option, though. I mean, there's all kinds of people in this fucking country. I don't think French, in particular French and English, has to be, you know, just the only languages. I mean, it's not a written fucking rule. I mean, I think it would be a good option to have different languages courses in school, but uh, so there was different countries, but so was France at one time. So I don't have any particular beef with any French people or anybody speaking anything. I like my kind is my kind, right? And we're in Canada now, so I'm just rambling on here. I get fucking things all mixed up. Didn't turn out this way, but where there's all kinds of languages, so I'm not sure. But why I got written down here by now and now. More or less, it's about uh, I think where they're going with this organized crime issue. There's not going to be any of that. I'm quite sure. You know. So it's about that kind of thing. It's about who understands. You know, that makes light of it, I guess. And it's not so much about caring. Understanding usually comes from the word caring. I'm not sure why it wouldn't have anything to do with how far Frodo goes, but and anything he does, no matter what he's doing, no matter what he wants to do, right? Well, you go further with both of those. So, I could be wrong, but I doubt. Another issue is this feels like I'm doing a time issue. Everything is time is against me. Time was only beat once, by the way. And the drinking and the smoking and the eating. You know, the drinking, I don't have a problem or an issue. I have a couple of bottles of beer on Friday night. You know, it doesn't lead to anything else. But the smoking, my vape. I do vape. I have, and I buy bot and stuff. The good stuff. I don't get it pre-mixed or anything like that. And the eating habits, I have got to cut. I've been doing good. I've been doing real good for the last. Geez, I've been doing good for over a year now. I've lost about since September, probably most of the time because I'm just too cheap to fucking buy it. But fucking groceries are expensive, eh? Who knew? Fuck, eh? Something else. Anyhow, this is just something to do for me, but yeah, the eating, like I said, I've lost, I don't know, 20, 25 pounds, so I'm doing good on that, and I don't have any health concerns or issues, or there's a lot of things here, I guess, that I'm not seeing that could be possible fucking factors here. So fuck off. But anyway, the drinking and the smoking and the eating, yeah. I think we covered all that. I think there's more to touch up on here. Yeah, we're 16 minutes in. There's probably some more stuff that I want to say, but I'll add the link so you can find out where this is. Jeremy Brewer, jeremy.brewer.961 at facebook.com. And you can see actually what happened. This has been 16 years ago, or when I did the video, it was a while ago, so I'm going to put that on there again, and just so I make sure. And yeah, so you can watch that video. There's 2 or 3 videos there, and you can see for yourself. So anyhow, if you want to, but you don't have to. Anyhow, thanks for listening and tuning in, and we'll be back with you. It's been a little while now. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these, but anyhow, the convoy. I can't get enough of this convoy. I gotta make a video on this convoy thing, just to share my similar interests and views. So my views are actually the same. I see what's going on there, but I see a lot of familiar faces on there, and I see a couple of cops on there that kind of look like the next door neighbors there lately, who I dislike very fucking much. And maybe that's what you're seeing. That's how much I don't like them. But anyhow, we're not machines. So anyhow, that's enough for today. And yeah, so I'll touch base back probably. I'm going to try to do a video on this trucker thing on Saturday if I can. And this has been something I've been trying to do here for the last 4 or 5 days, but just keep putting things off. And I keep putting things off. And that's who I am, and that's what I do. So anyways, thanks a lot.